Good evening. My name is Assistant Chief Larry McCunin. I'm Commanding Officer, Patrol Borough Bronx. This is preliminary investigation. At approximately 6:06 p.m. tonight, police in the 43rd Precinct responded to a 911 call for an emotionally disturbed person at 630 Pugsley Avenue here in the Bronx. The first officers arrived at the location within 1 minute, and they were directed to the 7th floor, where a neighbor made a complaint regarding a female who was acting in an irrational manner. At approximately 6:15 p.m., a uniformed sergeant entered apartment 7E to investigate. The sergeant encountered a 66-year-old female in a bedroom who was armed with a pair of scissors. He engaged the female in conversation and persuaded her to put down the scissors. After putting down the scissors, the female subject approached the sergeant and grabbed a baseball bat. As she attempted to strike the sergeant, he fired 2 shots from his service revolver, striking her in the torso. She was transported to Jacoby Hospital, where she was later pronounced deceased. This incident is currently being investigated by the department's Force Investigation Division.
New York, New York. RT. An NYPD police officer shot and killed an emotionally disturbed 66-year-old woman, opting for his gun despite having a taser. The woman was armed with a baseball bat. The department says an investigation is underway. Officers arrived at an apartment in the Bronx after receiving a call about the woman on Tuesday evening. When they arrived, a neighbor complained that she was acting in an irrational manner, according to a statement by NYPD Assistant Chief Larry W. McCunin. When police entered the apartment, the 66-year-old woman was armed with a pair of scissors. An officer was able to persuade the woman to put them down after engaging her in conversation. However, the woman then approached the officer and picked up a baseball bat, attempting to hit him. The officer then chose to fire his handgun at the woman, despite being equipped with a taser. As she attempted to strike the sergeant, he fired 2 shots from his service revolver, striking her in the torso, McCunin said. The woman was taken to a local hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. It remains unknown why the officer chose to shoot the woman instead of using his stun gun. The sergeant was armed with a taser. It was not deployed, and the reason it was not deployed will be part of the investigation and review, McCunin said, as quoted by New York Daily News. New York Daily News journalist Andy Mai tweeted that the victim was African American, although that has not been confirmed. Journalist Gerson Borrero tweeted that the officer involved in the shooting, reportedly a white male who had been on the job for 8 years, has been placed on modified duty, citing sources. The Tuesday incident was not the first time the woman had acted irrationally, and police had been called to the apartment in the past, according to public advocate Letitia James, who has called for the NYPD to expand the use of non-lethal force by the department. Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. has called for a full investigation into the shooting, comparing it to the 1984 police killing of Eleanor Bumpers, a disturbed 69-year-old woman who was killed while brandishing a knife at officers attempting to evict her from her Bronx apartment. NPD Emergency Service Unit officers began carrying tasers shortly after Bumper's death. The NYPD says the shooting is being investigated by the Force Investigation Division, and that a full review of the facts and circumstances of this incident will be conducted. The shooting comes as the Black Lives Matter campaign spreads across the U.S., with protesters staging recent demonstrations against the shooting of unarmed African Americans by police. Read more at http://thefreethought.com/nypd-cop-kills-66yo-woman-bat/#YMGHB2FHGPWMB8OR.99.